Fighting over. Uh-oh. Injecting Stimpack. Please take this. I don't want you to die. Does that feel better? Have a Stimpack. That's all.
Of your pre-recorded principal, Doctor Principal Boros.
Time to fight. Please take this. I don't want you to die. This will keep you on your feet. Injecting Stimpack. take this. I don't want you to die. This will keep you on your feet.
I am lord of this institution, where once, long ago, I was a student here. Now, I am its omnipotent God Principal, as I soon will be lord of Big Mountain. Do-dee-do. Do you hear that? It is my trumpet of victory!
Please take this. I don't want you to die.
Down at the end of the hall is ball storage.
Does that feel better?
Like Richie Marcus.
Injecting Stimpack.
Richie likes balls.
Have a Stimpack. This will keep you on your feet. Does that feel better? I don't want you to die. This will keep you on your feet. Have a Stimpack. Do you like me?
Attention, students. This is the pre-recorded recorded voice of your pre-recorded principal, Dr. Principal Boros. Please place all filthy propaganda books in the incinerator chute in the sink, especially those with funny pictures of me in them.
This will keep you on your feet. Have a stim pack.
Order will be short soon. Please.
You are in the library. Be quiet here and filled with the...
Hostiles in area.
Please take this. I don't want you to die. Does that feel better? Bad guys dealt with.
Did you retreat? What did we say? Our conversation... Oddly... Oh... What? No, all I need to do is check my... you put down. In what? And you know what?
Sneaking done. Fighting now. Have a stim pack. This will keep you on your feet. Bad guys dealt with. Uh-oh.
Looks like this is my lucky day. What's the matter, you pansy-ass pico?
Please take this. I don't want you to die. This will keep you on your feet.
There's nothing I like better than making some other
Injecting
poor
the
bastard
stim
die
pack.
for his country. No surrender.
Cessation of hostilities complete. This one looks pretty tough. Injecting Stimpack. Please take this. I don't want you to die.
The Uncanny Valley Research Center has been canceled until further notice. As in, until someone notices it.
We haven't seen anybody in a while. Maybe the monsters have stealth suits too. Was that all? Sneaking done. Fighting now. Uh-oh.
We are lean.
Please
We are
take this. I don't want you to die.
How do you like that, you mother-loving comic?
Does that feel better? Does that feel better? Cessation of hostilities complete. If you want to be sneaky, turn off your Pip-Boy light. You're my best friend forever.
Prepare to be
Ready?
the eye
Steady.
of Mobius sees you. Roboscorp, attack!
Does that feel better? Fighting over.
Eureka!
Harvest him back. Harvest him back. This will keep you on your feet. Please take this. I don't want you to die. Cessation of hostilities complete.
Beware Doctor Mobius's army. His Robo-Scorpions crawl everywhere in search of intelligence to devour and stupefy.
Who do you think is cuter, Dr. Klein or Dr. Boros?
To calibrate these Robo sensors.
This will keep you on your feet. Have a stim pack.
You won't escape me. Now I end you. I see you.
This will keep you on your feet.
You won't escape me.
Please take this. I don't want you to die.
You're no match for science.
This will keep you on your feet. That's all. Time to fight. Please take this. I don't want you to die. Bad guys dealt with. I bet no one has ever been as unnoticed as me. Uh-oh.
No match for science.
Guys dealt with. Injecting Stimpack. Please take this. I don't want you to die. Cessation of hostilities complete.
Oh, yeah, baby. Feels good to be online again. Yeah, all circuits online. Ready to receive your seed. Your seed, baby. I'm the original, certified, rarefied, testified GS2000 biological research. You got seeds? It's the miracle of life, baby. Yeah. Well, Muggy? Yeah, Muggy's alright. Not too seedy. But hey, nobody's perfect.
Oh, God, look at you. You're filthy. I suppose you'll want to clean up then? Oh, it's just so unsanitary. Do you know how many germs are in 1 cubic centimeter of dirt? 70, 100 gajillion. Would you want that getting washed down your gullet day in and day out? I didn't think so. Oh, I'd love to, darling, but the circuits that allow me to dispense water into non-organic containers burned out years ago. You'd have to find a replacement. You can have as much as you like. Just, you've been working.
Ah, good day, citizen. Library Of course, citizen. That's my duty and sole joy in life. Just dump them in and lickety-split. I'll have them. What good is a... Wait, if you... Fan... Greetings, citizen. Blank.
Oh, my. Partial functionality restored. That's less than optimal. Dr. Mobius and I were deeply involved in research on the ability of light levels to enhance human cognition. We observed a fascinating phenomenon. Certain spectra of visible light actually increased cognitive function and reasoning ability. Of course, Dr. Mobius's brain is so big already, we had a hard time measuring it. As much as I'd love to, I'm afraid not. The data from that study has gone missing. You'll have to find a backup.
I am online once again! Tremble, world, before my electric heating coil of doom! A toaster is just a death ray with a smaller power supply. As soon as I figure out how to tap into the main reactors, I will burn the world! Buddy, if my heating element were just a little bigger, you'd be on fire right now! On fire! Have you ever tried to indulge in all-consuming urge to kill when you don't have opposable thumbs? Or hands? Or anything other than a bread slot? You'd have a lot of pent-up anger too. Well, since I can't kill you, I guess I have to listen to your inane questions. You should be afraid! I am the scourge of all small appliances, and the boogeyman that keeps lesser toasters awake at night. Not just murder, I tear them apart and render them down to their base components. Once their guts are spilled, you can do with them what you like. Well, well, what have we got here? Another innocent little toaster. Come here. I won't hurt you. Ha! Gotcha! Oh yes, the sweet smell. Yes! Soon I will... What? It did? Really? Well, fuck! That really puts a damper on the toaster's mood. Oh well. No use crying over spilled Armageddon. Where was I? Oh right. Soon the world will burn in nuclear fire! Again! You want some weapon schematics? You
Ooh, yeah, dig that sweet music. Damn, it's good to be back online. Dig, I'm an acoustical wizard kid. Old Doc Mo used me to prototype his sonic weapon designs. Get me a good sample base to work from, and I can whip up a wave that makes Jericho look like a kazoo. Got yourself a sonic emit or right on. What's that? Used to. Long. Guess you could say I...
That was a nice little, cat and mouse. I was Dr. Mobius's personal assistant. We were studying, oh shoot. What? Oh yeah, lightning! No, wait, lighting. That's right, how lighting... Oh, it was super exciting. It turns out that some pretty colored lights can make you way better at talking to people. Oh, I love... You'd have to go out into that now. Oh, her. Trust me, sweetie, you're better off not thinking... That bitch. She thinks she's so much better than everybody just because her processors are bigger. Ooh, she makes me so mad. Sure.
You! Hey, you! Yeah, you! Got any mugs? What do you want, Mugs, huh? You some kind of sick mug hoarder? Oh God, give me the coffee cup, please! It's sitting there in your pack, taunting me! Sorry. Sorry. I got a little carried away. It's just all those goddamn dirty dishes out there with no one to clean them. It breaks my heart! Of course I'm obsessed. They made me this way. You think I don't know how crazy I sound? Of course I do. They programmed me to know that too. They made me just to torture me. But you know, it's the neglect that hurts the most. Hey, everybody, let's turn ourselves into robot brains in jars. Do you know how many coffee cups giant robot brains in jars use on a daily basis? Not fucking many! I'm supposed to keep them clean. Oh, God! Most of them are probably beyond saving now. The only thing left is... If you must... You really want to know about... me? No one ever asks about Muggy. You made me so happy. Maybe you've seen some of those big, imposing Securitrons with their lovely laser guns and rocket launchers and scary faces. I'm not one of those. Dr. O was always jealous of House Industries, and he thought it would be fucking hilarious to build a tiny neurotic Securitron. Big So,
Look out! Communist! No, false alarm. It was...
Might I be of service? Very good.
just a play.
Might I be... Might I be of service?
This one looks pretty tough. Bad guys dealt with.
Surrender yourself. You cannot win, despite the fact that the odds are heavily in your
I can't give you anything for that injury.
Do not be alarmed. Order will be restored soon. Please stand by.
No more.
Commencing lawful use of deadly force.
No more stim packs.
Do not be alarmed. Order will be restored soon. Please stand. Continued resistance is unlawful.
Give you anything for that injury.
Do not attempt to flee.
We're out of
Justice will
stim
be
packs.
administered swiftly.
Maybe you'd be better off with an autodoc suit. No more stim packs. We're out of stim packs. Maybe you'd be better off with an autodoc suit.
my minion! Sting them in the name of Scorpion!
I can't give you anything for that injury.
I'm afraid I'm sorry, sir, but... I'm sorry, sir, but you forced me to utilize deadly force.
Be attacked by Doctor Mobius. I see you. Now I end you. I'll just set this on repeat while I go relieve my tank. No one will know. You won't escape me. Dr. Mobius, surrender yourself. You can't win, despite the fact that the odds are heavily in your favor.
Might I be of service? Might I be of service? Sir's accoutrements are precisely where Sir had...
Between you and me, you're going to...
left them, and should the toaster say otherwise, I remind Sir that it is a waste room.
How can I...
Got any more...
What's that?
You've been seeing...
Attention! The bluegrass surrounding the dome absorbs all fertilizer, including fecal matter. This does not... Attention visitors! Combat experiment in progress. Please put on your goggles and take your rad-X. Crush them with your... The X-42 giant Robo Scorpion is... Awaken! The X-42 giant Robo Scorpion Looking for a weak spot? There are no weak spots! Electrons attached to the neutrons attached to the... Yo! Hello there! You are there, aren't you? Forgive my confusion. So hard to tell these days. You seem familiar somehow. I'm guessing, you're here for your brain, perhaps? It's just up... little... Depth perception should look at getting the visual nerves reattached. It's just that the right eye would see the wrong thing. Would you care? I had to... Really? That implies preconceived notions. After all... Oh, a variety of reasons. You're something of a homily. You see, you are the most successful brain extraction experiment ever performed here at Big Mountain. A victim of your own... If you were to go back with what your brain could be... I'm not sure, except that I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. I have very good reasons for almost everything I do. Even if I forget them occasionally, although I feel this one is especially important. Oh well. Do you? The ghosts? Please. Then I was probably tripping hard on Psycho when I sent that. Had to work myself up to it. Not usually violent, except when I am. Then, watch out! So many chems, such varieties. Whenever I take Mentats, I can feel my entire chassis breathe like a big spherical lung. As for the Psycho, sometimes... Did I? Maybe I... You and your brain are quite alike. Doctor Mobius. This name's as real as you or I. Although someone's been watching too many old-world science fiction movies. I must admit I have a vulnerability for holotape fantasies. Like the think tank, we were all reprogrammed to forget them, take on new names. Now, trap is a rather harsh... But, yes, I did take some liberty. I said... The radar fence to keep the think tank hemmed. I suspect I have Plan 9s in place, but I may have coded myself to forget them, just in case. They're probably very dangerous, lethal, or worse. So I had to do something else to keep them occupied here, or as you like to say, trapped. I prefer to have several Plan 9s in case the 7s fail. Oh, you figured it out. No pun intended. Dr. O, which is actually not his real name multiplied, since you can't multiply his real name in the first place. Ouroboros, Klein, they have all forgotten themselves. And not only themselves, but the world, sense of time and history. All that is left is what's here. I reprogrammed their chronometers, geometers, and cartography programs. This is now their world, here, Big Mountain. It was a merciful lobotomy, really, thinking back. They were my friends, but sometimes they would take things too far. And the world isn't ready for that kind of too-far thing-taking. That's my professional opinion, anyway. And I am told I was once quiet. Really? It is so unlike me to make an error in anything I do. Well, it's simple. Despite their many failings, they are rather bright. They are the think tank for a reason. That I didn't change. Without something to distract them, make them afraid, they would simply deduce what had happened. And when they start deucing it up, then you see it. Bullets But it... that... I...
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been, Crawling through pits of radioactive muck again? Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie? Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, Dick, unquote, as if I'm the one responsible for the way you carry on gadding about the wastes. I'm not the one that makes us clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go charging off to New Vegas on missions of ill-conceived revenge. And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Do you think I enjoyed that little moment? I most certainly am not. I'm the seat of all reason and logic in our little partnership. All those feelings that motivate you, that sense of righteousness and that rush you get when you help someone, do you know where those come from? Glands. They come from glands. Free of the tyranny of your ape-like and primitive endocrine system, I can see how foolish your motives are. Well, look, it's all a very complex system of biofeedback and other things I wouldn't expect you to understand. Oh, all right. Perhaps I am, but at least I'm logical about it. I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you. Overrated biological feedback. Believe me, you only feel that way because you've got all that meat. Ooh. I suppose you're right. That does call certain assumptions into question, doesn't it? Indeed, quite the conundrum. How do you suppose we resolve it? I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the reintegration would create some improved synergy. Well, I suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body if that's your final decision. Unfortunately, before we get to that stage of the proceedings, we have a problem. Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Doctor Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share. And you believe them? Once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the... And that is assuming a... Well, I suppose I do miss those endorphin rushes when we save the day. All right, what's the plan? Right, look out, think tank. This brain is coming out of its jar. I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem. Right then, off we go. Clyde will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work.
Numbers right now. If I want some, I'm imagining all sorts of imaginary numbers right now. I'm running out of floor space for my calculations.
Kill them all. And let God sort him out. Ready to die for... Is that the best you can do?
You got some plans. Ah. What's that? Right.
You require some addition. You require some. You require some.
God, why can I stop singing this fucking song?
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Doctor Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped? Fight? Come! Fight! How do you fire this thing?
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century. The courier watched over the Big Empty for years to come, caring for it and keeping its discoveries safe until they were needed to help others, which had always been Big Mountain's purpose. Past the laboratories and science, it had always been intended as a place to build the future of all mankind.
The courier had scoured much of the Big Empty, although secrets still remained in the crater's depths. Perhaps that was for the best, however. Curiosity, while sometimes rewarded for its efforts, often proves to be equally dangerous.
Dr. Mobius continued his research undisturbed in the Forbidden Zone. As much as he had attempted to create better scorpions, he tried the same with humanity, with considerably less success. These failures didn't bother him overmuch. Once the rush of mentats wore off, he forgot he had failed in any event. After all, the bright young mind who had come to visit him in the Forbidden Zone had already exceeded his expectations.
The sink atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other. Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The Biological Research Station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden, so that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours. The garden sent back a polite refusal, saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip. It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip, and the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat. One of them eventually transferred to the Lightwave Dynamics plant and began a long, unrequited affair with one of the holograms.
The thing continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter that came near it. Eventually, it gained access to the magnetohydraulics plant and nearly flooded all the Big Empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. After one of its more psychotic episodes, however, the other Sync personalities decided enough was enough and dumped the toaster in a bathtub. Sparking and hissing, the toaster swore its enemies would rue the day when they had bread and no way to toast it.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy, except he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Blind old Jefferson, with sounds the courier brought him, created a symphonic counter-frequency that saved Big Mountain from sonic invasion in 2910. If you didn't hear about it, good. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches, although he forgot their names much too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre were bored out of their skulls in that toxic dead city. In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
As the courier ran through the X-8 facility multiple times, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. Rather than performing a superficial observation, they realized the subject barely knew what communism was, or even what a high school was. This confused them for a time, until the facility finally realized that its research had succeeded. So it let its cyber dogs out into the wastes to help protect small communities from physical aggression rather than communist propaganda.
The infiltration program in X-13 felt spent, having repeatedly upgraded the stealth suit until it could upgrade it no more. It felt warm, fulfilled, and a bit sluggish. It realized not long after the stealth suit had left it without so much as a note on the nightstand. So the infiltration program sent out Robo brains into the wastes, looking for its wayward technology. It eventually found Repcon HQ and set up a new research center, testing and murdering fiends who kept breaking into the facility.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be. After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
The think tank basement, filled with the lobotomized robotical frames of the doctors, now served as a graveyard. The monitors had recorded the battle in its entirety, including the think tank's final, shrill, terrified screams, whimpers, and pleas for mercy. They broadcast these humiliating last moments as a warning to anyone approaching the perimeter that other smarty pants were not welcome. The courier was the inheritor of the Big Empty, and there was room for only one will in the halls of the think tank dome.
There is an expression in the wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries, to come.
In the times following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, however, Old World Blues took on a new meaning.
Where once it was viewed as a form of sadness, nostalgia, it became an expression describing the potential for the future.
It can be easy to see science as evil, technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, science became a beacon for the future. There was old world blues, and new world hope. And hope ruled the day at Big Mountain.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal Ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The sink sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone.
Please. Use the flat!
It's not like I haven't tried to get along with her. Lord knows I have. She's just such a woozy.
With the brains dealt with, soon we